Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 53 of the San Marino Challenge. As you can see, guys, let's go into the league table. We have done it. We have finally won Serie A. We're champions of Italy. I mean, in the end, as you can see, we finished, well, obviously we've still got one more game left to play with the Roma game today, but we're on 82 points. Second place Inter are on 74 points, and then third place Napoli are on 73 points. So I mean, even if we lose today and Inter win, they'll only be on 77 points. So we'll still be 5 points clear as champions, even if we do lose our last game today, which is it's very impressive. I mean, it could be more than 5 points. It could be 8 points. If we win and they win, of course. So I think we dominated this season, and it was an interesting one purely for the fact that last season we sold both of our best strikers. We sold Chan Plat, who was above and beyond the best striker that we've ever had at the club. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. But then we also sold Shokri as well, who was essentially Chan Plat's replacement, and he was touted as a wonder kid as well, the young Egyptian player. Both of those guys were sold last season. Well, I suppose at the start of this season, really. We replaced them with Longelo and Dalm, who is another sort of wonder kid prospect, but really young. He was only 17 when he came to the club. He's developing nicely, but he wasn't really at a type of level to play first-team football, if that makes sense. And as you can see, we have won the league. Let's go into the fixtures because we do have quite a bit to get through. Of course, the previous episode, again, we've done the double. We've done the double. The previous episode was also against Roma in the TIM Cup final. And of course, we won that game 2-0. Absolute amazing goal from Vitek. Truly deserving of a cup final victory, I think, in my opinion. Anyways, the next game was a nice little 1-0 victory over Lazio. Carlos Antonio with the only goal of this game. Pretty important win over Lazio. They're one of the stronger teams in Serie A still to this day in 2027. Now, the next game was really disappointing. We were away from home at the Emirates against Arsenal in the semi-final, in the first leg. As you can see, Paul Van Dijk, that is, a regen, managed to get the only goal of the game, and it basically prevented us from getting any away goals with the clean sheet. And, that especially being one goal down, it really puts you in a very tough position going into that second leg at home. Anyways, in between the two legs, we had a nice little 1-0 victory over Fiorentina. Formato, again, above and beyond the best player this season on the score sheet, only goal scorer. Then came the second leg, and as you can see, we destroyed Arsenal at home. A 3-0 victory. Now, let me get this straight. I was going to record this game, but then I thought, okay, well, we're probably going to lose. I mean, even if we get one goal or two goals, they're probably going to get an away goal. And, well, Nesic opened the scoring in the 20th minute. So it was tied 1-1 on aggregate. However, no one scored after that. And it went to full time. Of course, still level, 1-1. So we went to extra time. And, well, in extra time, as you can see, Conforti scored in the 95th minute. And then we also had Renault scoring in the 107th minute. 3-0 victory. 3-1 on aggregate. We go through into the Europa League final. And we are taking on Chelsea. So that'll be next episode. It's going to be a big one, for sure. It's going to be a really, really big episode. Above and beyond it's more important than the TIM Cup, obviously. I would say that winning Serie A is probably my biggest achievement so far. Although, I mean, if you look at the Europa League, we've beaten Arsenal, who have probably one of the best squads in the game. I mean, they're probably top 5, top 6 sort of in the world. Just to give you a bit of an idea of their squad, they have players like this guy who isn't even playing at the moment. Valued at 58 million. They got Declan Rice, Emil Smith-Rowe developed really nicely, as you can see, 26 years old. I mean, they bought Koulibaly, who is a player I'm pretty familiar with, being from... Where was he from? I think Napoli? I can't remember correctly. Let's have a look. Fiorentina. I wasn't interested in actually buying him at one stage, but he didn't want to come to us, unfortunately. I mean, if you look a little bit further down, you've got all the sort of real players. Fekir, Bellerin, Lucas Hernandez, Torreira. Of course, me being an Arsenal fan in real life, I'm a big fan of Torreira. We beat them. Go into the final. Like I said, massive episode. Make sure you check it out. It will be the episode straight after this one. And we'll get straight into it. Anyways, the next game was a 1-1 draw against Pescara. As you can see, Sabanda opened the scoring for us. And disappointingly, they got an equaliser in the 93rd minute, sort of preventing us from getting a win. And in the most recent game just played was a nice little 2-1 away victory against Atalanta. As you can see, Renault in the 30th minute opened the scoring for the game. We then went 2-0 up through Dalm, who I believe came off the bench. And actually, he started. Yeah. Did he start? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he might have started. But I can't remember. It's been a day since I played this game, actually. I'm recording. It's a fresh morning. Novi also got sent off there with 2 yellow cards. Worth mentioning, we played both Ugolini and Vicini in the centre of defence. So some more good game time for them. And they're both, they're progressing really nicely. They're sort of starting to look like players that, that could actually be... Well, they're only 19 years old, so they could actually be in the under-20s or the under-21s for, say, Italy, for example. They're sort of that quality, despite, being starters for our national team, the San Marino national team. Anyways, like I mentioned, today's opponents are going to be Roma. Massive game. Well, I say a massive game, but Roma, they're 13th at the moment. They've sort of just stayed up from relegation, if that makes sense. I don't really know what's happened because they beat Juventus in the semi-final of the Town Cup. But yet, they're really, really struggling at the moment with their league performance. Interesting to see that... maybe that just... I don't know. That's weird. It looks like we only have 3 Champions League spots and 4 Europa. Let me have a look at that really quickly. Where are we? Let's go down a little bit. No, it says... Excuse me. Sorry, my voice has dropped out on me a little bit there. Top 4 teams do qualify for the Champions League group stage. And then the other team. So, I guess that's just because the final game hasn't been played yet. Anyways, let's get into today's lineup for this game. It's interesting to say, but the Europa League final comes 3 days after this. I'll show you the schedule here. So there's 3 days gap in between the 2 games. So I'm going to have to be a little bit wary of who I actually play today. Of course, the game doesn't mean anything as such. So I'm thinking about maybe changing this up a little bit. Let's go with Forte. We'll rest Formato. He's our best player. We have to make sure that he is going to be fit for the final, basically. I'm going to play Armini and Vicini, I think. I think that's a good duo. We're going to rest Nesic as well. And we're going to rest Squizzato. Anyone else I want to rest? Maybe Renault? Yeah. Let's play Vitek, of course. Cup hero. Well done to him. We'll play him in the final game. And I think that'll do us, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, so the starting lineup is going to be Ingvarsen in goals, Antonio at right back, Armini and Vicini as our two centre-backs today. I'm going to go with Gilles at left-back, and Lascoigne as the defensive midfielder. Sabanda and Viviani will be the two centre-mids. Then we're going to go with Vitek on the right, Forte on the left, and Albani up front. The bench today is going to be Marino, Squizzato, Nesic, Cizek, Formato, Renault, Dalm, Martinez, and Pisardo. Also worth mentioning, Conforti picked up a pretty serious injury. I think it was either last game or the game before. Can't remember correctly, but yeah. So he's going to be out for this game and, of course, for the Europa League final as well. I'm just going to tell the boys I expect them to win, to be honest. We are the home team as well, so looking for a good performance here today. That's for sure. It's a bit of a rotated team, of course, having Sabanda, Vitek, Forte, Gilles, Vicini, of course, in there as well. It's heavily rotated, but I still think it's a pretty good quality team. Viviani with a decent little shot there from just outside the box. Like I mentioned, Roma really not doing too well, as a couple of our players pick up yellow cards there. Both Lascoigne and Vitek. Alrighty, come on, boys. I definitely want to get the win here, just to sort of continue our momentum into the Europa League final. That is for sure. Although it's not, we're not really having any highlights in this first half, as it does conclude there. Interesting. We've had one shot on target. They've had two. It's pretty poor from both teams by the looks of it. Obviously, a heavily rotated squad will probably do that. So, like I said, the game, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We're going to make a few subs here, actually. We're going to tell Antonio to ease off as well. Who are we going to bring on? That is the question. Dalm can come on for Albani. Let's bring Martinez on. He has not played a single minute of football. Let's bring him on for the last, 35 minutes? I don't think there's anyone else I really want to bring on, to be honest. Actually, we might bring Cizek on for Viviani, just to make sure that Viviani doesn't pick up any sort of injury, purely for the fact that he's probably our best centre mid at the moment. Well, by far, I think he is. And I don't really want him to miss that game for any sort of reason. But yeah, this game looks pretty poor from a video making standpoint. Gilles on a 6.4. Sabanda's playing really dreadfully as well. It's going to finish in a little draw, isn't it? Just tell them to push forward. They're all frustrated. I don't know why you'd be frustrated when your manager tells you to push forward in the last, 5 minutes of the game. Surely that's a given. Maybe that's why they're frustrated. They obviously know they have to push forward. Vitek! Get in there, lad. Third goal. The assist goes to Vicini. That's pretty interesting. Nice little ball forward from him. We get the goal. Yes! All right. It does look like we're going to win this game then. I thought it was going to be 0-0. I think that might be my superior managerial shout there. The push forward worked, basically. That's all down to me. Anyways, nice little 1-0 victory there to end the season. Tell the boys well done, I guess. They were pretty dreadful, if I'm being perfectly honest. And yeah, there we go. Martinez makes his debut. Yeah. I feel a bit sorry for the lad. He's on 8.25k a week. So it's, he's earning a decent living, despite not really doing anything. Vitek gets man of the match, which is good to see. Hasn't really progressed too much, Vitek, but I don't know. We got him pretty cheap, £3 million from Bayern Munich. He's done a job for us, that's for sure. He's getting on a bit now. He's 22. I can't remember if I brought him in when he was 18 or 19, but yeah, it was quite some time ago. Anyways, like I said, the next episode will be the Europa League final. But we're going to do a bit of a little end of season review here. Of course, best player of the season, above and beyond, Formato. 7.47 average rating. In 42 games and 5 sub-appearances, he has scored 21 goals as a left midfielder with 16 assists. That is... I mean, it's just crazy, to be honest. I mean, our second best performer is the other winger on the other side, Renault, with a 7.36 average rating for the season. Similar amount of games played. He only got 11 goals and 18 assists, so a couple more assists and about 10 less goals. Albeit it's a pretty good return. Anyway, I'm very happy with that. Of course, both of those high-quality wingers, we've got Formato and Renault, probably the reason as to why we have won the league or won Serie A this season. Super happy about that. Just behind them is Conforti, who unfortunately will be missing the Europa League final. 7.27 for him. The other right back, interestingly enough, Antonio, also on a 7.27. So I guess it's not all doom and gloom. Antonio, well, on paper, is just a good enough replacement as playing Conforti would be. So, okay, I'm a little bit more confident about that. Seeing the average ratings there for the season. Just behind them, we have Viviani on a 7.23. 11 goals in 47 starts and 4 assists there as well. Big goal return from a centre mid, I think. So I'm very pleased. First season at the club as well. As you can see by his attributes, he's not anything too amazing, but the mentals, the physicals, everything's above average, and he's an above average player. And that's exactly the reason why I brought him to the club. And it's valued at £38 million, and we got him for free. So I think that just goes to show, just how good he actually is. And yeah, very happy. I mean, we could sell him on. I mean, possibly we could sell him for about 50 million to some other clubs. So I'm obviously not going to do that unless some sort of crazy offer does just, come in for him. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. Really, really good, solid performance. Again, sort of a testament to how we've won the league this season. Just behind him is Armini, another new signing. I'm pretty sure it's a new signing. It feels like he's been at the club for a little while though. 48 starts, 2 goals, 1 assist for him, and a 7.15 average rating for the season. Just behind him, another new signing this season, of course, on a free transfer. William Longelo, the striker. That was to replace Chanpalat and Chokri. 12 goals in 35 starts. 6 assists for him as well. And also on a 7.15. Just behind him is the other centre-back, Squizzato. No goals, no assists in 48 starts. That's pretty interesting. Although he was very, very solid at the back. So that's all I ask of my centre defenders. If they're solid at the back, it makes me very happy. 7.11 average rating for him this season. Just under, of course, Cup hero Vitek. 12 starts, 9 sub-appearances for 3 goals and 5 assists. A 7.10 for him. So that's pretty impressive. A lot of bench appearances. So that'll sort of drag it down a little bit, the average rating. So I'm pretty happy, and I think that's pretty impressive from a backup player. We then have Nesic, of course, another new player this season. 2 goals, 1 assist in 38 starts with a 7.07 average rating. And then just behind him, of course, we've got Forte, who I'm probably going to try and move on at the end of this season or the start of next season. Still done pretty well for his sort of standards. 14 starts, 10 sub-appearances with 6 goals and 3 assists to his name and a 7.06 average rating. We then got Novi, of course, player we're familiar with, just come back to the club and spent his first full season. And, well, we've won the league, so credit to him as well. We put a pretty hefty outlay on him. I think it was 7.75 million. Oh, 6.5. My bad. Still, 6.5 is a fairly decent amount. So, yeah, but he came in. It's been pretty solid. 41 starts, 3 sub-appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists as our... I mean, he played a little bit at centre mid, but obviously majority of his playing time was as the defensive midfielder. And 7.05 average rating as well. Pretty solid. You know, sat in front of the defenders very well as sort of the deep line playmaker. And I'm very happy with that return. And finally, the last player we'll talk about is Cizek. Really didn't play too well last season. Sort of found himself out on the fringes a little bit. But this season, next to Viviani, he's just absolutely stepped his game up a little bit. He's still a bit of an average player. But 46 starts, 2 sub-appearances, and he's got 8 goals and 6 assists. So that's a pretty decent return from an average sort of player and a 7.01 average rating for the season. Yeah, so that's a bit of a squad review for how this season's gone so far. Of course, we do have one more game. The next episode will be the Europa League final against Chelsea. And I believe we're in Armenia. Yeah, Armenia. What a weird place. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you could drop a like, that'd be very much appreciated. Subscribe as well if you haven't for whatever reason. And hit the notification bell. That will hopefully keep you up to date with all the episodes coming out in the future. Like I said, guys, San Marino Challenge is going to be here for a long time. Essentially, we've only sort of just started the series, if that makes sense. Of course, the goal is to win the World Cup with the San Marino national team. All this stuff that we've seen, the 53 episodes here, it's all just... It's a preview. It's a building of the national team, if that makes sense. I'm super excited. You know, the national team stuff, you know, we've got some internationals coming up soon. Of course, the Euro qualifiers. And then we've got a nice little friendly game against the Philippines there. Hopefully we'll get a win because I feel like we can... I'm going to try and schedule some friendlies against teams that we should be beating. I just want to try and improve our... our national ranking because we actually dropped another position down. And I look at the teams around us, and they're all really bad. So, anyways, enough about that. Please join me for the next episode. And apart from that, take it easy. Goodbye.